You're listening to The Bird Bath. Welcome back to The Bird Bath. Each week we scrape the surface of the news you need to know, so let's get into it live in Orlando, Florida at VMX. If you're in the veterinary space, you probably have been or are at the conference here in Orlando. VMX is the largest veterinary conference in the world. There's over 30,000 people here, and that's people that are registered, not even including all of these extra people that you're going to bump into in the lobbies of every single hotel in the area. VetMed has taken over the land of Walt Disney, so things are going spectacularly here in Orlando. I'm recording this in the evening between all of the many sessions and wonderful events, and I just wanted to take this episode and update you on a few of the really big things that I felt like hit the scene and happened here since the show has started the past couple days. First off, a very big announcement from an initiative that's near and dear to my heart. REVAMP. REVAMP is a consortium of industry and institutional leaders dedicated to transforming the veterinary health profession by addressing systematic challenges that can hamper future growth. The goal here is to empower veterinary professionals to embrace innovative tools, programs, and frameworks. The team, myself included, aim to bring forth meaningful change that will revolutionize this exciting industry and create a strong foundation for the next generation of practitioners. This is an initiative you guys have probably heard me talk about a little bit. It's something that has been supported and brought to life by the incredible team at Zoetis. They, over the past year, it's a year anniversary since this initiative kicked off, have been bringing together absolutely incredible people. I'm beyond outgunned in skill sets when I'm in the room with these wonderful folks. And we're looking at three areas of where we see the greatest need in finding ways to attract, recruit, and retain the top talent to be able to continue to grow this industry that, if you're listening to this podcast, I have to assume you love it. In this space, we've identified three key areas of greatest need, and we see those as the CRVT and team utilization, the workplace culture of teamwork, and technology. The technology sector is one that I am leading along with Dr. Audrey Weistrach and Dr. Gail Golab from the AVMA. And the resources and the things and the conversations have been brewing for the past year, and the resources are now live and ready for people to dig in. You can go to the website revamp.vet and you can learn more about each one of these wonderful and incredible pillars. There's tools to allow people, I'm going to talk about the tech side first. There's tools in the tech place to allow you to do a self-assessment of understanding where your practice is currently in sort of its approach to modernization of technology and utilization of more modern and digital technologies. There's a change management guide that we've designed for technology, but you can open that up and really implement anything that you're seeing on the show floor here at VMX here to allow you to not just get distracted by shiny objects, but really focus on what matters to growing your practice and making sure that you're implementing things and making sure they're scalable, as well as there's a rising technology directory. Some of you might have seen last year, I published a version of it, and the new version is out now and live on the website. The CRVT and team utilization pillar is bringing together some really wonderful open source products and framework that you are going to be seeing very soon. We're going through additional reviews with some of the largest organizations and associations in our industry to make sure that we're really bringing you guys something that's actionable. And under workplace culture of teamwork, there's a opportunity to be part of a survey and a pilot to be able to actually figure out what the culture is within your team. There's case studies, as well as there's an awesome toolkit for you to be able to improve and act upon ideas and values and the desire to create a culture of places that people want to work at. So go to revamp.vet to learn more. It's a resource that we are really hoping can get out there and get into more hands. My time in Orlando kicked off straight from the airport, rushing to an incredible evening with the Bridge Club. The Bridge Club celebrated their 2025 icon, Dr. Catherine Pollack. She is a obviously a DVM. She has more letters behind her name, but the big thing that she was celebrated for was her work in international shelter medicine. Dr. Pollock's contribution to animal welfare and shelter medicine, along with her tireless leadership in animal welfare advocacy, set her apart in this year's category. The really neat thing about the Icon Award, I had a chance to sit down with the founder of the Bridge Club, Catherine Haskins, and talk with her a little bit about what sets this apart. And one of the cool things is the Icon Award is voted on by previous winners. It's not voted on by the Bridge Club or corporate sponsors or anything. This is something that people that have made massive, massive impacts in our industry sit down, look at who else is bringing about huge change. There was a wonderful interview with Catherine, and I wanted to bring you just a snippet of it. There was a moment here in which I think you could tell why she's being celebrated as an icon this year. And Catherine had talked about the incredible work she did all over the world and her desire to continue to improve the world and the care and the welfare of animals. And, she did bring up the point. She said in the US, things might look bad and then you head overseas and it really opens your eyes. And so it was incredible. I wanted to play just a small clip of the interview that Catherine did here and just hope that this opens people's eyes to the scale and the opportunity of which we can accomplish goals to improve the lives of animals.
Think big also, and programs can be scalable, right? So we can go in and we can see a street dog population, think, okay, we're going to sterilize, we're going to spay neuter 200 dogs. Well, why not make it 2,000 dogs? How do we get governments involved, reach across lines? I think we as veterinarians, we focus on the animal, focus on people that think like us, but we should really be extending across to find kind of unfamiliar bedfellows, so to speak, like the World Bank or financial institutions or other groups that have, or like FIFA, for example. Right now we're looking at Morocco culling 3 million dogs. Sometimes it feels like we're taking 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, 2 steps forward, right? Turkey passing a bill to kind of incarcerate and cull millions of street dogs, right? So I would just say that these are global big issues, but we're well positioned to tackle them. And let's also reach across different lines to engage with stakeholders that we can accomplish goals for animals.
Again, thank you to everyone at the Bridge Club for having me out to be able to celebrate this incredible, wonderful icon. And I look forward to seeing who is awarded next year. Now, my days here have been kicked off and filled with plenty of meetings, but don't worry, I'm still getting the news for you all here. I was given the opportunity to join the inaugural PetSmart Charities Leadership Forum. The goal of this forum is to bring together leaders from many different leaders in the industry and learn on how to get more pets the care they need to thrive. There were presentations from obviously PetSmart's Charities. They gave a great update. AHA updated on their new community care guidelines, which I'm linking in the show notes here, as well as UC Davis Endowed Chaired in Accessible Veterinary Care. Also, the Veterinary Innovation Council, which I love getting to see the work that they're doing, updated us on their Access to Care map. It was an initiative that they launched last year, and their website has this great resource. Again, I'm going to link all of this for you all to be able to see really the work that people are doing. It's very common for events like this to lead people to get into a room and talk about how great we can be and how much of a change we can make in our industry. But to see someone like PetSmart Charities take the charge and Veterinary Innovation Council, AHA, UC Davis really lead actual change on access to care was wonderful. One of the big things that I actually found super interesting, Dr. McCobb from UC Davis went through and actually outlined and defined something that I think a lot of us throw around terminology on. So we were talking about access to care, and she said, and I'm just going to read this directly from her slide, but access to care means that pet owners have everything they need to care for their pet. Pet food, safe housing, veterinary care, grooming, etc. The goal of what UC Davis and many others here, and maybe in the industry, was we're thinking about the weight of words, she was wanting us to discuss more around accessible veterinary care. So that's the idea of everyone having access to the veterinary care they need, regardless to any barriers. Dr. McCobb then broke down more of the ideas around accessibility and everything from disability to language to transportation, talking about the difficulty if you're in New York City to get a large dog. I know there was a ban on the metro of animals that weren't in carriers, and you're not getting your Great Dane in a carrier. So the physical ability to get to it, even in densely populated urban areas, was pretty interesting. One thing that I did feel really heartened by or encouraged by was the barrier of language. The difficulty for practices to be able to speak to people in the very different languages that they come into their clinic with is something that the technology that we're seeing on the VMX show floor is able to tackle. The ability to utilize AI to allow immediate and accurate and intelligent transcription services for multiple different languages, whether it's getting someone that's in practice and able to put discharge notes in any language that their potential pet parent might have, whether that's the one sitting in front of them or the one at home that's going to continue that care. I think both of those things are incredible. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what this initiative from PetSmart Charities continues to bring forward. Again, I'm going to link some things in the show notes. I'm going to continue sharing the development for this incredible forum that they're bringing to the industry. It wouldn't be a Bird Bath episode if I didn't take a minute here to talk about some of the news around veterinary consolidation. We've got one piece here of the sort of public debut of a new super group, and also something that I've been surprised hasn't been discussed on the show floor, or at least no one's talking about it with me, which might tell me something different. But one of the stories here is that Inspire Veterinary Partners, who we've covered quite a bit, announced and completed today a 1-to-25 reverse stock split. Now, if this story sounds familiar, this is the second reverse stock split that IVP has done in the last year. The first one was a 1-to-100 reverse split, and this one is a 1-to-25 split. The initial expectation here is that it's an attempt to avoid delisting by falling below a minimum price required by NASDAQ. The stock did complete the split here and had a bit of an up and down day on its first day post split. The difficult thing to keep in mind here is it closed at $3.10. And if you sort of backdate those splits and look at the total price of the share during IPO, you're looking at nearly an $8,000 original price in 2023 when the shares IPO'd, down now as it went down into the pennies, and then again into the $3 range now. There's a lot of questions that are being asked around what the overall goal here for the shares are. I know that there's a desire, and I did have the opportunity, and I know the people that work there. I think that they have the desire to bring this to a positive outcome, but it is something that's difficult to continue to see for one of the companies that a lot of people were looking to as a steward for the future of publicly traded smaller consolidators. Now, if you don't want to hear about smaller consolidators, Mission Vet Partners and Southern Vet Partners have done what I think was a little bit of a shakeup, but they didn't want to say that, was they had co-branding on all of their merchandise. So an MVP plus SVP branding. And they had let me know that they've updated their website where they talk about the merger. They weren't able to go into the full details because I think some of those aren't fully publicly available. But from their website, they said in December 2024, Southern Veterinary Partners and Mission Veterinary Partners joined to create one company with the shared mission to take the very best care of its team members and to provide exceptional care to clients and patients. This will not impact day-to-day operations at any hospitals. However, it will enable the combined company to use its collective resources to accelerate plans in pursuit of its mission to take care of its team members, clients, patients, and to have a positive impact on the veterinary profession. Now, this was something I didn't know. They said, as the only two companies recognized as best companies to work for by the U.S. News and Report, SVP and MVP will continue to invest in building the premier home for veterinary professionals. The company is veterinary led by Dr. Jay Price, former CEO of SVP. They said they will be sharing more details as they come available, and you know that I'm going to stay on top of that. Finally, if you're listening to this on Tuesday in the morning as you're walking from your hotel to the conference floor, make sure to come and check out my talk Wednesday morning. It's a breakfast session, so I will make sure there is coffee and food for you all. Breakfast session at 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning. The talk is in room S320E. Yeah, that's right, S320E. And the talk is about technology. So Dr. Audrey Weisstretch and I are going to be hitting on the technology that your practice is missing. The talk is called Innovate to Elevate, Technology Your Practice is Missing. There's going to be some sort of overview of different technologies, a kind of a breakdown of where those technologies live within the clinic, ideas of how to see those grow and who is ready and when you can be ready, and all of those things that matter so much, as well as the thing that I think really differentiates this talk from some of the other things on the track is a change management guide. This talk is part of our REVAMP project with Zoetis, and we have that incredible change management guide. So the goal here is for people to come, learn about new technologies, be able to see what you want to take back to your practice after an incredible week here in Orlando, and be able to actionably implement it. So hope to see everyone Wednesday morning. There will be coffee. Don't doubt it. For more on these and other stories, join us by subscribing to our Substack. There's a link in the bio, and don't miss out on any episodes by subscribing and rating the show. For the Bird Bath, I'm Ryan Leach. See you next week.